may profits be upon you. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. You're trading with RT Money, and welcome to another weekly outlook. We are going to take a look at the individual currencies from a futures perspective. We're checking the currency futures individually to gauge their strength and whether they may be getting weaker or stronger in the upcoming week. All right. Now, first thing we're going to take a look at is this RT Money Meter. The RT Money Meter tracks the rate of change of each individual currency from a futures perspective over a period of 15 weeks. And I update every week, particularly on the weekends where the strengths and weaknesses do not change. Okay. Let's take a look real quick. Look, the US dollar. Over the last 3 weeks, it's gone from 941 to 689 to 544. Now, it is still ranked number one. It's still the strongest of all the currencies. But what we're going to see, what is this descending numbers, the descending percentage of the rate of change? You know, why is it getting lower? Well, we'll look at the currencies for that reason. Okay, the next one is number 2 this week is the Swiss franc. It's at minus 89. All right, last week it was at minus 296, ranked number 3. It was at minus 5 2 weeks ago. All right, but now we're talking about maybe it's more neutral than weak or strong. Is, you know, like, yeah, you know, slightly bearish neutral, slightly neutral bearish, put it that way. All right, so we'll look at that in a minute. The CAD dollar went from last week at minus 272 to minus 144. It is actually getting stronger. All right, just because the Swiss just because the CAD dropped to number 3 doesn't mean it got weaker. It's actually getting stronger. All right, it's just that the Swiss got more stronger. All right, let's look at the number 4 is the yen. Now, this is the biggest surprise, the biggest mover of them all, because for weeks, for months, the Bank of Japan's policy has been to keep the yen devalued. Okay, buying up bonds and all that kind of stuff to keep this thing down. It's been the perennial last place finisher of all of the currencies, but it went from 1162 to up to now. You know, that was weeks ago. Now it's minus 520. All right, we're going to take a good look at the yen. Okay, we're going to take a good look at the yen. Okay, but this ascending of the its change rate is remarkable. It seems that the yen has found its bottom a couple of weeks ago. All right, and started trending up. All right, so let's get back to the come on, man. There you go. All right, so the next one would be the euro. The euro went from minus 619 to minus 548, a marginal improvement. It got marginally stronger. Number 6 is the Aussie. The Aussie went from ranked number 5 last week at minus 737 to minus 571. That's a pretty significant push up. They had a rate hike, and they got another rate hike coming this next week. Not another interest rate decision anyway. All right, that's, you know, watch for that. That's going to be impactful. All right, the pound went from minus 799 to minus 678. A similar a strengthening of the pound. Okay, and the New Zealand dollar is the bottom. is at the bottom. It's the bottom feeder this week. However, it did get stronger from minus 879 last week to minus 732 this week. All right, this is another one to keep your eye on. Now, what I want to point out is we are going to look at the individual strength, the individual markets themselves, their futures, the individual for currency futures, and we're going to see just how strong or weak they are. We'll start with the US dollar index futures. Okay. Now, we already showed that it went from 689 to 544. Let's see what that really looks like. All right. Let's go to the weekly. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen 2 consecutive bearish candles, right? Each one representing a week, all right? But this market is very strong, strongly bullish. Each one of these candles is a week, all right? And we broke structure to the upside. We are bullish. We are still bullish. Even after 2 weeks of bearish candles, we are still bullish. The structure is still bullish, and the trend is still intact. Okay, let's go back to the daily. And what I want you to see is the break of structure pushing up. All right. What happens after a low, a higher high, breaking that one, a higher low, a higher high? What is the next expectational structure point? That would be, that's a fancy way of saying what's the next what's the next point going to be? A higher low, right? And where would we expect a higher low to be made? Right around this region where it's at right now. Look, let me make sure you understand this. There's structure here. This is a higher high, right? And we already pulled back for the higher low down here. All right. But this is a structure point. All right. It's actually a breakout level. Just think of it as price basing out. Rally, base, rally. You understand? All right. This is a breakout. Price likes to come back and retest breakout areas. You understand? Okay. So we are here now. And I also want to point out, if you use your Fibonacci retracement tool on the swing, from the swing low, went too low, from the swing low to the next swing high is your trading range. All right. From the swing low to the swing high is your trading range. 50% divides it in the middle. This is the equilibrium. We've come from this area, the top area, which is premium price, and we've come to the discount area. And I want you to notice that we are tapping the golden ratio of the Fibonacci levels, 618. This is a full and fairly deep pullback. All right, that's all this is. I'm looking for bullish price action around here to start back up. It's that simple. All right, I'm not going to be thinking sells or shorts in this against the US dollar until we break this low. That's when we break structure, that's when I start thinking sells and shorts and whatnot. But if price only comes up to here, this is still a pullback, and we can get this and then make a new higher high. You understand? That's structure. So I am still bullish overall in this market. All right. On a lower time frame, yeah, we're in a downtrend on a lower time frame moving forward, but it's just facilitating a higher low to be made, and maybe we can get that this week, and I'm expecting it to come this week. Understand something, people. The environment is such that the US is in a technical recession, inflation historically high. I'm not thinking we're going to see a weak dollar for long. All right. We've had 2 weeks of it. We had a bearish close on Friday. You know, with some rejection here, I'm thinking we're probably going to see a rounding up and back up to continue the bullish trend. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Get rid of that. So I am looking for something like this. Can I get a curve? Can I get some curve appeal over here? Thank you. That looks better. All right. So this is what I'm looking for. This will be the spot to look for it too. In this area. Just think of this as demand. Okay. We are just touching it. We've come into contact with this zone of demand. All right. So the next one would be hello. The next one would be the Swiss franc. The Swiss franc. Now, let's take a look on the daily. All right. What can we see? I have a big green arrow here. Why? Because I believe we're bullish. All right. Now, you can see if we look on the weekly, you can see that price went sideways for a while, and then we had a breakout to the downside. Very bearish, a very bearish breakout. However, over a few months, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Went 11 weeks of higher highs and higher lows. This is all internal highs and higher lows, but it is an uptrend on the daily time frame. All right. On the weekly, this is internal, but on the daily, we're showing an uptrend, and I'm bullish on this pair. All right. When we break structure to the upside, like we did here, right? From this high to this higher low, to this higher high, to this higher low, I suspect we're going to make a higher high. We're going to take that high. All right. We are running into an important breakout, a major breakout area. All right. And I believe we are going to retest this, and we're going to end up breaking through. All right. This is a weak high. All right. This is a weak high. Why is it weak? Because it did not break this low. It didn't make a new low. All right. It came up weak. So it's going to be targeted for liquidity. Right. So I am looking for price to continue high. Any pullback in this, I'll be looking at this price just making a bull flag, a little correction, and then up. But I expect that to happen this week. All right, let's move on to the next one. What do we have? This is the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar. All right, now on the daily, you can see, matter of fact, what do we have? I should have brought this out when I was looking at that Swiss franc. This one is getting stronger, and it's good that for a reason. It was there for a reason. So we saw that, and with the Canadian dollar, it did get stronger as well, going to minus 144. But let's see what that actually looks like. Okay. All right. On the weekly, you can see that we were in a downtrend. All right. I have a high, a lower low, a lower high. We break structure for a lower low. All right. And we are in this range from this high to this low. All right. That's your trading range. And again, like I just showed you before, if we use your Fibonacci retracement tool, come on, man. Why would you do that? Okay. you can see that we're heading to the 618 golden ratio. All right, we have a nice pullback going on. Do I expect a higher low to be made? I mean, a lower high here? Yeah, somewhere around this area. All right, and we may be able to see a rounding over for a lower low. This has got a lot of spring in it, a lot of spring. All right, we broke internal structure here. All right, to the upside. We can come up a little higher, just just a little bit. I'm expecting some this is a supply zone. This is a supply zone, and we may, in fact, come up here to close this price gap here. All right, which makes sense. So I'm expecting Canadian dollar to get a little stronger. I am. Okay. The momentum is to the upside. Now that's on the weekly. Okay. Let's take a look at this daily. And you can see that break of structure here. You can see we broke this internal high here. All right. And then came up and broke this structural high here. So I like this to the upside. I like this gap to be filled and maybe supply being tested here, a mitigation of this zone of supply. All right. So that makes sense that we should see strength coming into this currency. Let's look at the Japanese yen. This is the big one. My voice is, I'm losing my voice. Okay. Now, it's obvious this thing has been dropping. We don't have to go too high. It's been a downtrend this whole time for months, right? And you can see the break of structure here on the daily chart. We have a low here, a lower, a high, all right, a low, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, little lows and little lower highs here, but each one goes lower than the last, illustrated by the green breaks of structure. And then we break structure to the upside with this big momentum candle here, right? Now, what is this orange line here? If we go to the monthly and look left, you can see this was a major breakout point. And we were trading under this breakout point for weeks, right? That's no longer the case. We are above that major breakout point. We are trading above that major breakout point. Can I expect price to come down, test it, and then go back up? Yes. I think that the yen has found its bottom. It's turned and broke structure to the upside. So I am bullish on in this market. All right. It's as simple as that. All right. We have ran into supply here. And you can see we are already getting some rejection. I'm looking quite possibly down here. There is a fair value gap. But remember, we have some structure down here. So price could find its way that way and do this. That's going to take a long time to play out like that. But I do believe that we may see some pullback into this imbalance, and then testing this the major breakout area and continuing higher. All right, but we have a break of structure, folks. So after a break of structure, you expect a return to impulse. Okay, boom, and then boom. So we'll see how this goes. All right, so that makes sense that the yen should jump up in from rank number 8 to number 4, because it's obvious it's a strong market. There's a lot of momentum. All right, we have a rejection in the supply area, so it doesn't have to be a sharp what do you call a sharp pullback. It doesn't have to be a sharp pullback. We can do one to start to see exhaustion candles first, and then pull back slowly as a correction, and then we can gather gather it up. So we'll see. All right, let's look at the next one. All right, this is the euro. Now the euro, where did my money meter go? Okay, the euro is at from minus 619 last week to minus 548, a marginal improvement, a marginal strengthening, if you will. All right, but I am still bearish in this market. All right, it's obvious that it's been bearish for quite some time. All right, it's a risk asset. All right, so risk on asset, right? And where the world is doing a flight to safe havens right now. That's why the USD is tops right now. The Swiss is gaining. The yen is gaining. Those are the safe havens. Okay. All right. And you see that we have a break of structure to the downside. Okay. There is no bullish break of structure. All right. So we are in a pullback, and you see that we've been sideways for a couple of weeks now. Okay. So what I'm looking for, you just got to look for the breakout. Is this a bull flag? It very well could be. Why would I say that? Because usually Fibonacci. Oh, let's put it on the swing high. I'm sorry. Let's put it on the swing high up here, down here. And you see that we have a good ways to go before we even get to structure points for a decent pullback to at least to the equilibrium. So this could be indeed a bull flag. So I do expect quite possibly price to come to sweep up this liquidity above these candlesticks here. And we have fair value gaps and imbalance that could be filled to the 50. So I do like this to the upside. But I'm not looking to take trades based on the strength of the euro. It's one of the weaker ones, all right? Because this is doing the sideways thing right now, and that's not one of the stronger markets I want to mess with. Okay, let's look at the next one. Hold on. All right. Aussie dollar. All right. Let's take a look at the weekly. All right. What we can see from this high, see that lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then we got a nice little push up for 2 weeks. We've been very bullish. We've been very bullish. Even on this 3 weeks ago, we had this bullish reaction. All right. And that is filling in a zone, filling in an imbalance. It was filling in an imbalance down to here. We didn't quite make it just yet. And I believe we will. All right. So let's go back to the daily. And so what's my bias on this? I'm bullish on the daily. On the weekly, I am bearish. All right. The bearish trend has not been it's still intact. It hasn't been broken. However, on the daily, we had a break of structure to the upside. So I am bullish. And you can see it's chopping its way up. It's almost corrective here. This isn't impulsive. This is corrective, like an ascending correction. All right. And we are correcting right into supply. All right. And we are there. Got a big old doji too. All right. That's a lot of range. That's a wide range with the candles and stuff. And you got to ask yourself, is it going to go through this supply, or is it going to round over here? All right. Again, this is the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar has gone from minus 737 to minus 574. It jumped up pretty good. All right. And we can see on the weekly, it's been 2 weeks of lots of momentum to the upside. All right. But it is only facilitating a pullback, a retracement. Lower low, lower high. All right, we could get our lower high right here. This would be the perfect spot for it. Just looking at the range on the weekly, we can see that we are above the equilibrium, and we almost touched off on the 618 golden ratio. This would be a great area for price to start to round over. It's reasonable to have that expectation there. Now, what I also want to take a peek at, a naughty little peek. Come on, man, what is this? Okay. Is at the 4-hour, and you see how I want to see how price is reacting to this zone. And you can see we had a break of market structure here. That's not what I was talking about. Okay. All right. We had a break of market structure here. All right. After this pull up. All right. I look for a push, a pullback, a higher high, a break below that pullback low, and a return to impulse. Price could very well reject from here, respecting this high, and we start to see this. Perfect setup. Perfect. All right. Once price breaks this low, we have a break of market. We have a internal break of structure here. This is an internal BOS. All right. IBOS. All right. But we break here, we get a close, a body candle close below that. We're heading down for sure. We're getting an early warning sign here. And I think this might turn out to be where price starts to round over. All right. That's the naughty peak on the 4-hour. Going back to the daily now. Don't tell nobody we did that. All right. So we got this range here. So I'm looking for price to come down, even though I'm bullish on the daily. All right. I'm thinking that this might give us a turnaround. If we break this high, we're going up to the next stop, which is here. Okay. So let's go to the last one. British pound. This isn't the last one, is it? I don't think it is. All right. What do we got on the British pound? British pound's been bearish. Very bearish. Look at look at the weekly. All right. We had 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Prices start to pick up. That's nice, isn't it? Very nice. But we're running right into a zone of supply. Look at that. And we have some rejection going on already. I'm looking for price to round over. This is the 4-hour now. All right. We have a high here, lower low. There's a lower high here on the daily. But this is the structure. Push down, pull back, push down, pull back, push down. All right. We're in the retracement phase right now. And I believe we will see another push down. I'm still bearish in this market. Let's look at the daily. And we can see up close. Remember, we have a interest rate decision coming up on the 4th. All right. Please keep that in mind. That's going to be big. Let me tell you something. The pound, you better be careful with, because come Thursday on August 4th, there's a whole lot of news going on there. All right. Be careful. Be aware. And, just be aware. And then you got non-farm for US dollar on Friday. Come on, man. Be aware. Those are high impact news items. And I'm not a fundamentals guy, but if you're not aware of high impact news that could potentially reverse the market, then you I don't know what to tell you. You just it'd be smarter to be aware. All right. So we made this low, we broke it, and we're pulling back, and I'm looking for price to round over here. So yes, we can see that the pound did gain some, but I think we're going to see some rounding over or some sideways action, and then maybe a descent. So we'll see what happens on Thursday, though, because Thursday, if the hike is great enough, that could give strength to the sterling and send it up top for a deeper retracement. It could come up here, so we'll see, but I'm looking for this. All right. The last one is the New Zealand dollar. The New Zealand dollar has been bearish, and you can see that we broke this structure here, broke this structure here to the downside. We pulled back, went lower, and then we started an ascent. Okay, we're in retracement mode here. Okay. Yes, on the daily, we have a break of structure to the upside. That makes this bullish. But on the higher time frames, like the weekly, we have a push down. Push down. We broke this structure here. We're bearish. Pull back. Lower low. We're bearish. Now we're in retracement within this range. All right. So the higher time frame downtrend is still intact. We did get a 50% pullback though. Okay. There's a little red dotted line above that. Why do you think I have that there? All right. Why? I want to show you. We're going to have to we may have to take a naughty look. Yeah, we're going to have to take a naughty look. Don't tell nobody we're looking on the 4 hour. Okay. Don't tell nobody. That's not what I do. Okay. It's very similar to the Aussie insofar as price has come up to this area here. Took the liquidity from the top of these wicks. It stopped people out, took their liquidity, and we're in this zone of supply. All right. This is the range of it, and we are in that zone. Okay. The thing is, come on, get over here. So we had this reaction. You see that we broke structure just like on the Aussie. All right. We broke structure. All right. And I'm looking for price to give us a rejection here at this supply. I'm looking for price to reject here and get maybe round over. Now, if it in fact is making a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, or if we are making a higher high, well, that's possible. The reason why that's the reason why I have this here. All right, this signifies a weak high. Why is it weak? Because it did not break this low. All right. If it stands, this is going to be targeted, and we're going to sweep that. We're going to sweep it for liquidity. The markets will. All right. This is a strong low as it broke structure to the upside. All right. And when price came back to test it, it held. Okay. This is where the range of the supply, the demand is. So we're going to watch. We're going to see. It'll only take a day or two to see if we're going to take this high or not. But I do believe the New Zealand dollar is going to continue to gain and take that high. I do. All right. That's what we're doing. We're making higher highs and higher lows. That's what a naughty little peek at the 4 hour will give you some insights. Got to read the candles. Got to read the candles. All right. So we may take this high. That doesn't mean we're going to disrespect this zone of supply. It just means we're going to take this high, and we could probably come back down. But at the very least, short term, we're going up, in my opinion. All right. I hope you enjoyed this examination of the individual currency futures. All right. I hope it gave you some insights into how strong or how weak to play the pairs that you're going to be looking at. All right. I'm going to be doing some further analysis, and I'm going to be dropping a bunch of analysis on pairs going forward. I'm going to let you know which one is my favorites going into the week ahead, and hopefully we can turn it into a really profitable week. All right. Do smash the like button if you like what I'm doing and you want to support this channel. All right. I really appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe and do leave a comment because I love to get your feedback. And everyone knows that I respond to everyone who leaves a comment. I love feedback from my viewers. Okay. I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful weekend.